Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Olympia Soiree, and I'm sorry if you can hear my dishwasher in the background. It just decided to get really loud. Like, it was quiet, and now it's like on its like rinse cycle, and I'm like, you might not be able to hear it, but like, good lord. Anyway, so we're just continuing Riku's route, so anyway. Tsukiyomi, are you here? My pitiful voice echoed through his hermitage. Tsukiyomi? The windows and doors were all wide open, and his dies were left open on his desk. The fire was burning in the hearth, but he was nowhere to be found. Someone kidnapped Tsukiyomi! Oh. This is a different angle. Is this downstairs in his place, or is this in the bathhouse? Probably in the bathhouse, but like, wow, it's pretty. Huh? I didn't know you were here. I returned to the bathhouse to find Camellia sweeping the floors. It's pretty. I like it. Were you crying? What happened? Have you seen Tsukiyomi? If he wasn't at Naruku, then he's probably taking a walk somewhere. Lately, he's been telling your Lord Yosuga and me if he's going to Tenyo Island, so he shouldn't be away long. I see. Thank you. Your eyes! They're swollen. You were crying, weren't you? Did someone tease you? Who did this to you? Let's make them pay! It's alright. It's nothing, really. Unable to hide my reddened eyes from her, I could only force a smile. I can't hold much back any longer. If she says any more kind words, I'm gonna spill out everything inside me. Really, I'll be okay. I'll be fine by tomorrow. Huh? Well, I'll see you later. Tsukiyomi is such a dummy. Of all the times to leave. I knew it wasn't Tenyo Island's fault, but I gave it a hard glare as I looked out across the sea. Do not deceive me, my friend. As director of the Kotowara, you should know about the man who was killed by the women of the White. You're putting yourself in danger by being near her. Wake up already. I somehow held back my tears. Look how white she is. She's so creepy. Since I was little, everyone here looked at me like I was some sort of strange creature. It is important to preserve the white, but as with the other women on Tenyo Island, you can only bond with a man you crave with all your heart. When touched by a man you do not trust. Tsukiyomi didn't make himself clear, but it seemed to me that someone on the island used Batsu to take someone's life in the past. Maybe that's what everyone on the island thinks too, even if they don't say it outright. Which means my time at the plaza... Is it impossible for me, a white from Tenyo Island, to ever be loved? Riku, I knew deep down already. If it had been a mere stranger in the plaza who had said it, it wouldn't be so painful. It's because he said it. I know Akaza told me not to, but I feel like I could just swim out to the whirlpools now and drown myself. Call up Satsuki and Yogi and just make it a group effort. Oh, this place is so sad, it makes everyone miserable. Of course, I knew I couldn't do that. I needed to find a husband and somehow preserve the white bloodline. But I don't want to look for a husband anymore. Tears trickled down my cheeks. There was no one around, so it should be fine if I let myself cry here. I kicked the sand in frustration when... Fuso? Oh, right, the fuchsia guy that gave crackers to... I was like, who's Fuso? Right. Lady Olympia? What on earth has happened? It's nothing. Nothing at all. From the look on your face, that's difficult to believe. I hurriedly took out my handkerchief to dry my tears. I remember the voice we gave him, but I didn't have a sprite, so, like, doesn't matter. It really is nothing. Fuso looked at me, then at the ocean. He smiled serenely. It's kind of like, I just want to cry alone. Why can't people leave me alone? The ocean will hear your words, but it cannot answer back. If you do not mind that... Oh, he's old. Okay, hold on. If you do not mind this old man, you can talk to him. Fuso's mulberry-colored eyes were kind. I could tell he really cared about me. Well, I wish they would be like, an old man came and I swear, I don't know, she just said, I swear I thought she said a young man. They're always young men. So, I don't know. Come to think of it, Fuso was talking to me before about Tenyo Island. In a frail attempt to ease my tension, I asked him, someone told me the women of Tenyo Island killed someone. Have you heard about that before?
The person who told you that is mistaken.
Huh? He showed not the slightest hint of deception. He looked at me with gentle eyes.
It's been some time since the lunar fairy last journeyed to the island. I suppose the story has been distorted.
Fuso looked at Tenyo Island with nostalgia, then turned his sights back to me. I recall you telling me that you've been to Tenyo Island. I don't know what the lunar fairy is, but if you know anything about it or Tenyo Island, please tell me. I saw a shy glimmer of light in his eyes.
During the full moon, a mysterious boat departed from Tengu Island to Tenyo Island. I'll never forget that night when I saw the large yellow moon above the shrine gate.
Did the lunar fairy come?
Indeed. In the morning, a white flower is placed on the doorstep of a man on the island. A white mouse delivers this flower.
A white mouse?
If you head to a certain cave with the flower in hand, you'll find a boat awaiting you. That boat takes you to Tenyo Island.
Wait! I know you're not lying to me, but there weren't any men on the island.
That is true. No males are born to the women of Tenyo Island, and none are allowed to live there. But the women are unable to bear children alone. Do you understand what I mean?
They're like... The mouse is like, boop, this is your butt. Get over there. Oh my god, we're like basically making booty calls. Oh, it's funny. Children... She's like, girl, you can... Come on. And, like, Tsukuyomi keeps going over that. Like, what's his deal? Like, come on. Tsukuyomi, can you tell me where I can find my papa? The goddess who sleeps on this island hates men. You mean Lady Amaterasu? Then why are you here? Indeed. The goddess of the sun, Amaterasu. Which is why if a man is ever found living here, she awakens in anger and brings forth disaster. Your father sought to remain here as well, but he incurred her wrath and drowned in the sea. Did he die? I can't see him anymore? No, not anymore. Poor Papa. What a way to tell a kid her daughter. Tsukuyomi just... No kid gloves with that one, huh? My mother saved my father when he washed up on shore, and she fell in love with him. My governess taught me how children were born the day I first had my menarche. Okay. So I just assumed that women of the island simply found their mates by chance, like my mother did. Nope. We making booty calls with flowers and mice. So you're... Oh...
I was husband to one of the women of the island.
I felt as though I would break down in tears again. But it wasn't because of sorrow. It was from the joy of meeting someone connected to Tenyo Island. A person who was actually married to someone on the island. There was no one left there. Even if we weren't connected by blood, I felt I had finally found someone from my family. I mean, he had a wife, he probably had a daughter, you know what I mean?
It is said that once you leave the island, all your memories disappear. Oddly, I was able to retain a fragment of my memories from that time. I was diagnosed with Haku when I was 17, and I have the unsightly mark to prove it. I married when I was 20, but she was terrified at the sight of my body. The fear prevented her from touching me, even with one finger. Soon enough, I found myself living alone. When I discovered the flower on my doorstep, I thought I was dreaming. No, perhaps it really was only a dream. None of the men who returned from the island remembered anything, which is why I kept what I knew a secret. It was truly a dream filled with happiness.
Okay, so, like... Nope. This is... Okay, We make booty calls with mice and flowers. And then it's almost like we drug them. Because we're like, okay, you willingly came to the island, but you don't remember, and all of a sudden you come home and then you have no idea that you just knocked someone up and you got a baby on an island somewhere. I mean, you want to be like, well, I mean, they made the choice to go, knowing full well that they weren't going to remember when they came back. But it's... okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to add that piece of luggage with that shit to unpack in a pile away, because I can't with that either. That's a lot. Okay. Sure. That's a little piece of luggage. Goes with some of the other bigger luggage over there. I'm just going to leave that for our next vacation, too. But, like, aside from the weird factor of that, you don't know that your dad is dead, because, well, Tsukuyomi told you, but he's got more holes than the Swiss cheese plot, okay? He's like, literally making all the holes in the plot. Like, this man, there is something sus about him. I love him to death. I love him. But he is like, you were like, you are hiding some kind of shit. It's gonna be good. But, like, could you imagine? I can't quite wrap my brain around this right now. It's not that early in the morning or late at night or anything. It's like the middle of the fucking day, but, shit. Okay, sure. I don't know how to process that. Like, how many people walking around on this island have, like, families, blah, 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 whatever, I mean, okay. At least, you know, none of your love interests do, because they were all too young at the time. But, like, Doma could have fathered someone on that island. He doesn't know. None of them know. You don't know who's walking around on this island who, I mean, I feel like she was one of the only children at the time, but, like, you don't... That's so weird. You don't, like, you're married and you have your family and you have no idea that technically you had another family. That's the way they want it, but it's still weird. Okay. Anyway.
It was truly a dream filled with happiness. The only person who loved and embraced me was my wife on Tenyo Island.
I mean, this man technically had 2 wives. He spoke lovingly in deep respect of her. Even now, he must still see his wife in his mind, smiling beautifully at him. You really did go to Tenyo Island. Fuso and I both looked out at the island. An island that looked so close, yet was so far away. Hold on. Oh god, that sneeze. Sorry.
Very few know about Tenyo Island and the White. And even fewer know about that sad incident.
The Red Calamity. He said it was sad. Hearing Fuso say that was more than enough to console me.
There's nothing for you to be afraid of. As the last remaining White, you must live with pride.
I wiped the tears from my eyes again, when suddenly... I was like, when suddenly... Click button. Waits for it. I'm like, did I not click the... Okay. That's not sudden. Tsukuyomi, Jesus fucking Christ. He, like, slowly fucking slid right up in there. Jesus. My dear child, I'm sorry to have been away. It seems I returned just as you left. Camellia was rather angry at me.
Lord Tsukuyomi, it has been a while.
Fuso bowed in respect.
Unlike me, you've not aged at all in 40 years, Lord Tsukuyomi.
I mean, I'm just saying. It makes me sus that, like, if he's my dad. Like, or he really is, like, just... He's like, I created this play. Maybe he really is a god. Who knows? I don't know. I still remember you very well, Fuso of the Fuchsia. One who loved and was loved.
Please forgive me for sharing my old stories with Lady Olympia. I know it's strange to say, but she feels almost like a granddaughter to me.
She could be, you don't know!
Perhaps because I was not blessed with children. Though I know I am unworthy of the fragile bond I share with the White.
You don't... I was not blessed with children. You don't know that, though! What Familial bond, a strong connection shared among members of a family. Men who have children with the women of Tenyo Island sometimes retain a connection to the island even after departing. Men who have see, he's like, I don't have kids, but you probably did. Well, you don't have them anymore, but technically, yes, you still do. Hey! Stop it. You have been good for a long time. I don't want to hear your attitude today, okay? You turn the fucking attitude off. No, you turn it off. You turn the attitude off, you being mean. I tried to talk to you earlier and you was mad. You didn't want to talk to me. I want to talk to you now. You can come over here if you want. Stop being a little bitchy bird. You'll be good. You know attitudes. You don't care if you want to play with Mr. Neelix. He's sitting over here being a pain in my butt. Because he just tries to jam his head under. He like tries to shove my headset out of the way, and then his claws are on my neck, so it's like really uncomfortable. But that's better. You talk nice. That's nice. But anyway, he probably had a kid with his wife on the island. I'm just saying. He just doesn't remember it. Oh, I really do hope you would let me think of you as my grandfather. Fuso's expression looked so forlorn that I couldn't help but exclaim my thoughts. Oh, I'm sorry if that was sudden. My parents passed away, and the only one I can call family is Tsukuyomi. So I'd be very happy to have a grandfather in my life. When I read about them in books, I always felt sad to know I didn't have one. So if you don't mind, I'd love it if you would consider it.
Consider it? To be your grandfather? I do not deserve such an honor.
Please don't say that. I'm just a normal girl, and I want to have a grandfather. Oh, we just adopted a grandpa. I suddenly felt embarrassed, speaking to him as though I were some entitled child. Well, I guess I'm not that normal, but I'd be honored to be your granddaughter. He covered his face with his hands and began to shake.
Goddess of the sun, Amaterasu, I have been blessed with another day I shall never forget. The day I gained a grandchild.
Tsukuyomi quietly looked on at Fuso. He wore his usual calm smile.
Lady Olympia, I heard you were in search of a husband. And perhaps your tears from earlier were because of that, but everything will be fine. I know you'll find a good person, the other half of your soul.
His words filled my heart with so much love that I couldn't speak right away. Thank you. I'm sorry for worrying you, but I'm feeling much better now.
I've searched this beach for years to find something I could treasure, and today I have.
Aww.
Perhaps my wife who sleeps on that island has brought me here today. Well, I should let you go for now. If you see me anywhere, please call out to me.
Yes, I'm sure I'll see you again at the plaza. He walked away, turning around a number of times to bow, when Tsukuyomi began to speak. I see your tears have dried. Fuso, grandfather shared a lot of things with me today. I assume there was much to share. You're now 18 years old and ready to find your mate. Now then, it's my turn to tell you a story. No males are born on the island. As such, the only way to preserve the white is to bring men from outside the island. Of course, the marriage is not forced on either party. The boat simply brings men to the island. It just so happens that Fuso's soulmate was a woman of the white, which is why he still retains his memory of her, unlike the others. Because if you... Oh, that makes... Okay, so that's what you're doing. They just need to breed, so you just breeding stock, then you forget. Because it's like, whatever, we just using you. Okay, but like Fuso's like, I remember because she was my soulmate, not just a hookup. Oh, that's kind of cute. Tsukuyomi, do you know how happy I am now? I left that island when I was little, so I don't know much about the island or the people who live there. But now, I finally met another person, someone I could call my family. Your father and mother were deeply in love with each other as well. My mother said the same thing. She wants me to find my true love and live as happily as she did. But the other half of my soul must be out there somewhere. And she told me that she knew I'd do well, because I take after my father. My mother would scold me if she found out I was crying right now. So, are you feeling better? I am. I'll go and apologize to Camellia first thing tomorrow. Then I shall return to Yomi. Come and visit me any time. It's kind of nice that he actually was like, I better go find her. Like, you're a good weirdo who might be our dad. I'm just saying. What a day. After the encounter on the beach, I went to Yomi and found a letter to deliver to the Red District. When I was finished, I went back to the manor. Although, I mean, technically, if Fuso is like, you haven't changed in 40 years, he's old enough to be our grandpa, technically. Like, he could be our grandpa. Like, Aifuku, could it be that your grandfather delivered those flowers?
Yes, that's our clan's duty.
I'm sure you don't know what I'm saying.
I do know. I know exactly what you're saying.
I said I was fine back then, but now that I was alone, I was beginning to remember what happened earlier this morning. That's always the way it is, isn't it? You're like really unhappy about something, and then people are around and you're like, no, I'm doing okay. Yeah, no, I think I'm better. And then you go home and you're alone and you're like, and then all that shit just comes back because it's been like slinking behind you, just waiting like a cat waiting to pounce. It's like, yeah, you're with people. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till you're alone. No, it's all coming back. It's like a wave that just fucking takes you out. My husband, I was sure it wasn't him. But thinking about it was making me feel even more depressed. I have another performance tonight, so I should start preparing. I need to focus. Focus. I returned to my room when... Lady Olympia, Lord Riku of the Blue is here to see you. I don't believe he has an appointment. Do you wish to see him now? I'm busy. No, I'm just kidding. You chose wisely. I'll see him. Like, first of all, if the game was like, no, I would have been like, that's rude, I want to see him. I apologize. I know I should have sent a messenger ahead of time. Oh, ahead of me, sorry. That's fine. About this morning, I apologize. I instinctively took a step back. Akaza has spoken to me since then about you. I said such horrible things out of my own ignorance. There's no excuse for my behavior. My words can never be unspoken now. I have insulted your pride. I do not deserve your forgiveness, but I needed to convey my regret. I am truly sorry. As Riku of the Blue, I must express my heartfelt apologies. Please forgive me. Riku straightened his back and bowed deeply to me. At least he is like, I was wrong. Cute. I could sense from him a deep and sincere remorse.
It has been some time since the Luna Fairy last journeyed to the island. I suppose the story has been distorted.
We're about the same age. I can't say I know everything about the past, so I doubt he knows everything either. If you will excuse me. Huh? Is that all you came here to say? I wish to apologize in person, not by letter, and it would be wrong of me to take up much more of your time. Well, I guess that's just being polite, and it really is just like him. I will not make any excuses. It is all my fault. He was so honest. He never looked away from me, and there was a hint in his eyes that he was reprimanding himself even now. And now then, I should get going. He gave an even more respectful bow to me than before, then turned to leave the room. Wait. After a few seconds of tremendous hesitation, I finally spoke. Oh, since you came all the way down here, why don't you have some tea with me? It would be terribly rude of me to allow you to leave without showing my hospitality. Of course, I'm not, forcing you. This was so embarrassing. This is so awkward. It's so cute because he's like, oh, I said some shit. And then she's like, I mean, see, I guess. What do we do here? Like, I didn't realize that it took just as much courage to jump into a whirlpool as it did to offer someone a cup of tea. When you're in love with them and they hurt your feelings, sure. Tea. Very well. Just a cup, then, if you wouldn't mind. Oh my god, these awkward, both of them are awkward nerds. I love it. Certainly. After rushing off to ask one of the maids to prepare the tea, I noticed Riku looking at the bookshelf. "The collection you have here is impressive. I suppose I shouldn't expect less from Lord Doma." He told me I can read anything in here. Not long ago, sitting here reading books all day was the only thing I did. I heard about that. So when the news came that you were looking for a husband, everyone in the military was excited and... No, I suppose you don't care to know that. It's fine. I mean, it's true I am looking for a husband. Saying it to him directly was embarrassing. Look at him. He looks so embarrassed having said that. Or maybe I was just feeling nervous at the sight of him here in the manor. So, have you found any candidates? Such an awkward conversation. I love it. This is so frustrating. I can't seem to calm my nerves. I could barely look him in the eye. Every word he spoke flustered me. I can talk about my search for a husband with anyone else but him. That's because you want him. This is cute. It's like, yeah, he wants you to. Do you have any candidates? Did you want to be one? I guess maybe. Do you want to be a candidate? Huh? Huh? His reaction was much stronger than I expected, and I ended up exclaiming in surprise myself. That's not a joke you should make lightly. It wasn't really a joke. I'm very sorry. And don't say that to anyone else. They will misunderstand your intentions. He is such an idiot. I love him so much. God, the boys in this are so good. He is such a fucking idiot. You're like, did you want to be a candidate? Oh my God, don't say that. People are not going to know you're joking. And she's like, stares at him, what? I wasn't. And he's like, oh, wow. Well, he's dumber than we are. Okay, she's actually not that dumb. But, you know what? Okay, like, socially inept is really what we are. We are kind of borderline socially inept. Again, understandable. But for someone who has been out talking to people, he is really socially inept. It's kind of cute. You're like, wow, I locked myself up for like a decade and didn't talk to anyone, and I can manage this better than you, buddy. Wow. That's a lot. How could I possibly keep calm when the person in front of me wasn't calm himself? Oh my God, two awkward nerds in love. It's so cute. I love it. No, don't get your hopes up. He can't marry until he's 30 years old, and he'd probably choose someone who can bear children of the blue. There's no way he can be my husband. Let's not talk about your search for a husband. By the way, you aren't getting too friendly with that Hazushi, are you? You mean Kaina? We're not very close, but I do consider him a friend. And there you go again. I'm not causing you any trouble, though. It seems he wasn't convinced. Then again, he didn't seem to want to discuss it further and took a sip of his tea. And that's right. I must ask, why did you begin your delivery service? Come to think of it, I haven't told you about it in detail. And there was a need by the residents to communicate with each other. And that was your reason, correct? I recall that is what you said when you first showed me your permit. I just wanted to do what I could. What? I've been living in Doma's manor for 13 years, ever since I arrived here from Tenyo Island. He didn't force me to stay inside, but I just kept to myself. But after coming out and walking among the people, I've discovered many new things. I found good people living down in Yomi, the place where everyone says to stay away from. The Red Calamity in Doma's hand, those incidents cast a dark shadow over me. But I want to keep my eyes forward instead of retreating back in fear. Even if I can't exactly meet his eyes now, I know I'm Olympia. As someone born on Tenyo Island, it's my duty to worship Lady Amaterasu and protect the sun. But it wasn't a decision I made myself. All I'm doing is fulfilling the role that was given to me upon birth. His body seemed to twitch, but that's not what I want. I wanted to do something that came from my own ideas, even if it was something small. It was then that I realized how fun it is to do things of my own accord. All the better if it's something that can bring about change, no matter how little. A change to this island. So I hope you'll continue to allow me through Kunado. He frowned at me a bit, then turned his face away. You know what's actually kind of funny? Because you think, oh, he's very strict and this is the rules of the blue, the rules of the color classes, this is the rules, the rules, the rules. But now it's like, okay, wait. But she's so intent on like, I want to change shit. And it's like, they've presented you with the story of like, oh, well, he can't marry until he's 30 or anything because he's got to stay pure because of his magic powers and he's a stickler for the rules. But now you're like, in the back of your mind, it's like, yeah, that ain't gonna last. Because, it's like, he's our love interest, so we're just gonna be like, okay, 10 years from now, we're gonna have a 10 years later where we're finally allowed to get married. I doubt it. And then his reactions here, when she's like talking about changing, he's like, oh, and he seems kind of shocked and almost, it's like, he's not like, oh my God, stop. These aren't the rules. It's almost like the things that she's saying, like, I want to change things and like, I want to do things because I want to do them, not because I have to. It's actually speaking directly. I mean, like, she's just saying, this is what I'm saying from the heart, for me. But it's absolutely everything that he needs to hear. Because it's probably shit he's been thinking, like, oh, it's the rules. I cannot get married until I'm 30. Okay, fine. And then we're over here like, yeah, I mean, I know I have to do these things, but like, fuck that shit. Like, I'm still gonna do the shit I have to, but like, why can't I do other shit that I want to do? And he's like, yeah, being forced to not be able to be in love or do any of this until I'm 30, like, that kind of sucks. Like, So, us just being happy about changing things for our own good, not forcing him to change. You should change. You should do this. She's just like, oh, these are the rules for him, and he's happy with the rules. Okay, but I'm not happy with the rules. Here's what I want to do. It's going to inspire him to change the things that deep down inside he actually doesn't really agree with, but is just going along with because, quote unquote, that's his duty to do, Oh, it's kind of cute. I like it. You don't like that, do you? You would still do it even if I opposed. You have a Kaza on your side after all. He's still like, I feel like he's still gonna be, no, you shouldn't do those. I'm kind of envious that you do this. Like, I feel like it's this little worm that's burrowing its way deep inside. They're like, change is okay. Like, he's like fighting against himself. It's kind of cute. In any case, just make sure you don't go against Lord Hiroko or the military. I assure you I won't. Except for that one time. Because I'm lying about that couple, but whatevs. He gulped down the remaining tea in his cup and stood up from his seat. Now then, do you mind if I take my leave? I'm sorry to have kept you so long. Thank you very much for coming today. Well, good luck with your deliveries tomorrow. Oh my God, he's smiling at us. Like a Kaza, he's beaming like the sun. The barest smirk. He finally gave in? Excuse me. Wait, let me see you out to the gate. He's like, no, this is awkward enough, and then you're gonna walk next to me, and it's gonna be even more awkward. You didn't need to come out here. It's my way of showing thanks for your visit tonight. There's no need to thank me. This was due to my own mistakes. He really is serious about himself. Look at his pose. His pose. I had to, because I'm like, he always stands and it's like, he's like, standing so, and like, just looks so funny in this situation. It doesn't bother me anymore, so please don't let it bother you either. Fine. I understand. That's right. I need to dance tonight. But it would be a bit embarrassing to have another dancer watch me. I don't really want to ask him to come see me on stage. Oh, please do your best at work. What? So suddenly? Oh, I just wanted to say that. Doing my best is a requirement. It is my role, after all. Well, you do your best, too. I will. Well, now then, please excuse me. It's so awkward. I watched his back as he departed. He's so, he just, I love him so much, because he's just like, I know how to do my job and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden we're like, hi. And he's like, I don't know how to do this. Girl talking, what? His whole life is just awkward now. He's like, I don't know how to do anything when she's around. I can't even, I can't breathe. I don't know how to breathe. Am I breathing? Do I know how to breathe? I don't know how, I forgot how to do it. And the Kaza just has to slap him across the face. Like, you're breathing right now. Stop it. Oh my god. We're like, okay, we're not even trying to make anything awkward. We're literally just like, do your best. And he's like, but huh? Kind of love the awkward characters. They're kind of funny. The smell of the gardenias in bloom was strangely sweet tonight. Come to think of it, I wonder if Riku's ever seen me dance on stage before. Probably not. That's good. And then you're like, I hope not. 2 dancers. New chapter, new chapter. Isn't that... A young man was loading some bags onto a carriage near the wharf. I guess we don't show her, we don't do our... We already did our dance once in the game, and it's like, you don't need to see it again, so... Unless something pertinent happens, I guess. It was Yogi, the man I met at the falls. I wonder if it's all right for me to talk to him. As I wondered what to do from afar, Yogi noticed me. He acknowledged me with a bow, so I slowly approached him to ask him a question. Is it all right for us to talk? Yogi quickly looked around. If it's not too long, I think it'll be fine. I've been waiting to express my gratitude. Thank you very much for keeping what you saw a secret. I wasn't going to tell anyone anyway. I will be leaving this island shortly, so please look after her for me. Huh? Where to? Don't tell me... I'm going to an island offshore for work. I see. I breathed a sigh of relief as I thought he was planning on testing his luck at the whirlpool beyond the ocean. If you're going to test your luck at the whirlpool beyond the ocean, you take your girlfriend with you. Like, look. Because there's no way you're going to make it past it one way and manage to come back, grab her, and then go the third. That's testing fate there 3 times. You know? You try it once, because then if you die, at least you take her out with you. This is a decision you make together. But you're like, look, are we going to test fate like this? We're going to do it together? Cool. Because again, you know, just because you made it across the whirlpool once doesn't mean you're going to make it back the 2nd time or the 3rd time. So I'm just saying. If there's a distance between us, surely we cannot be caught. My sense of relief quickly turned into sorrow. There's a need for farmhands on the island, so I plan on working there for about half a year. Or perhaps even longer. He's like, I'm going to go there because it'll be easier. She can move on and... Aww. There were many small islands around Tengu Island. As most were inconvenient to live on, they were being used as farmland and fisheries. I'll miss her terribly, but it is far better than being caught and executed. I do not doubt you in the slightest, but not long ago an Otsu woman was executed for her relationship with a man from the Yellow. Is he referring to Kaina? In any case, for now, we mustn't meet. I couldn't say anything. Plus, she's going to be forced to marry someone else, so... You know, I mean, he probably knows that. I'm sure she's told him. Hey, now that my father's in the hospital, I have to get married. You know, so... It would be useless to just offer empty words of encouragement or a wish for their happiness. Please, stay alive for her. It was the most sincere thing I could think of. I intend to. Yogi nodded firmly, as if to encourage himself. Well, you should be going. I would not want to get you into any trouble. Understood. I know it'll be some time before we meet again, but I wish you the best of luck. I'll pray for Lady Amaterasu's divine protection of you and of Satsuki. I'm not worthy of such protection, but I am grateful. Let's meet again, Yogi. I gave him a small wave, then went on my way. Good day to you, Lady Olympia. I hope your work is going well. Thank you. I hope you don't mind if I go through. I greeted him with a smile, but deep down I was trying to see if another soldier was around. Maybe he isn't stationed here today. Or maybe he's at the Blue. Or perhaps the Plaza. Not that I promised to meet him today. I wanted to ask where Riku was, but I managed to refrain from doing so. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with you. It's not like, oh, hey, Riku's not here. Nah, it's just we talk sometimes. But it's like, now everyone knows you're looking for a husband, so then you're like, so, like, hey, Riku's not here today? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I think she's digging Riku. Ooh. Lady sure is gonna be pissed, because you know that there's, like, a rumor that they love us. Oh my god, the fucking grapevine in here. Why do I want to see him? All I do is get in the way of his work. 'Cause you love him, silly girl. Is there something I can help you with? Nothing at all. Have a wonderful day. I went to check my letterbox in Yomi, but unfortunately it was empty. Thinking I might be able to find someone to talk to in the plaza, I returned to the surface. Sitting on the bench at the plaza was Fuso. Hello there. May I sit next to you?
Why, of course. That's right, your dance last night was extraordinary.
I'm glad you watched it.
Your Iroha flower was more beautiful than ever. I felt such nostalgia.
Thank you very much for yesterday. I know I should have behaved myself, but I'm very happy to have a grandfather now.
You know, I returned home at dawn and fell asleep, and Tenyo Island appeared in my dreams. My wife was waving to me happily from the shore.
That sounds lovely. Do you mind if I ask your wife's name?
To be honest, I do not remember. I'm certain I learned it, but it keeps slipping from my memory. Yet I clearly remember her face, down to the last detail.
I'm sorry. It's all right. You don't have to remember. All I'm sure of is that she still loves you. That's why she came to visit you in your dreams.
I'd be happy if that were true.
Seeing him look embarrassed was making me blush in turn. So cute. So nice to see everlasting love like this. If only I could find a love like that too. Right? Isn't that the dream though? You're just like, man. I mean, like, I know not everyone's grandparents were like happy and shit, but you just like think you know someone in your life who has that just wonderful really where you're like, they were just like happy forever. It was so cute. You just want that, like, you just want that happiness in your life, and it's just so sad. She's like, it's so beautiful and it hurts. You know, so like, yeah. Yeah, and then she's like, Riku. What? Well, why did he come to mind? He can't be my husband anyway. He can't marry until he's 30 years old, and he needs to find someone who can bear a blue child befitting of his position. See, and she keeps telling herself this, but I feel like he keeps telling himself this, but is also like, that's not what I want. And we've planted that seed in his head of like, sometimes doing your duty is a good thing, but other times like, why can't you do what you want? I somehow held back a sigh. I didn't want Fuso to be worried about me. As I thought about how to change the subject, I saw a white sleeve flowing in the corner of my eye. Good day, Lord Fuso. I see you have a lovely companion with you today. We gotta find a voice for it. I guess it's just gonna be whatever. All the sort of side sprite characters are kind of like iffy because like there's too many characters and I don't have voices. He's that person I met before.
Actually, Lady Olympia is my granddaughter.
What?
A doctor should not let an old man's nonsense fool him so.
Ah, I see. Well, I'm relieved to see that you're in high enough spirits to joke, Lord Fuso. After all, one state of mind can change one's health. Please take care with the support of your granddaughter.
Yes, I certainly will.
Like, I'm not sure if this guy is, like, nice or shady. I haven't quite figured it out. Lady Olympia, are you doing well? I'm sorry if I worried you before, but I'm doing fine now. I'm relieved to hear it, and now I have some patients waiting, so if you'll excuse me. After watching him walk away, I turned my attention back to Fuso. He's a doctor at the hospital, isn't he? Have you been having any trouble?
No. As I mentioned yesterday, I was infected with Haku long ago. I've not had any symptoms since then, but Dr. Sakyo has kept an eye on me out of concern. After all, I'm nearing my end.
Fuso gave a small smile and continued.
I should not say that. No matter what, I need to live much longer to see my adorable granddaughter get married. Yesterday you said you were the last of the white, but you will not be the last if a child is born.
I held my breath as I gazed at Fuso.
And then, with more family of the white, your loneliness can be eased. If I could hold your child in my arms, they would be my great-grandchild.
Okay, now you've got to get married and have babies, girl. You set this poor man up. It's like, like, before she's like, oh, man, I know I have to get married and have kids, but, like, what the fuck is that? Now it's like, well, now you have to. Because he's old and, like, it'd be so cute to hold my great-grandchild. It'd be lovely. And, like, oh, well, you can't disappoint Grandpa. Jesus, girl. Get out there, make those babies. You can't disappoint this cute old man. I wish he had a Sprite. I really do. I want to see his, like, wild magenta hair, but it'd be white, you know? Like, just a hint of magenta to it.
If such a thing would happen, I'd be so happy that I could live another 100 years. I can hardly wait.
Oh, you really can't disappoint him now. If this man dies in this, I'm going to be so mad. I'll do my best. I mean, that's a lot of pressure to put on a young girl there, Fuso, but, you know. Great-grandchild? I never thought about that before. That's all the pressure. But it's true that I won't be the last one once I have a child. Which means I need to find my soulmate as soon as possible. But see, that's the right attitude to never find them. And like, I will find a man. No, you won't. If you're like, you know what, fuck it. I just want to be single and alone. Like, I want people to stay away from me. That's when all of a sudden everybody's like, hey girl, what's up? Or like, please don't. As Riku of the Blue, I must express my heartfelt apologies. Please forgive me. You're not going to find your husband when you keep thinking of this man. Here I go again. This is no time to be thinking about him. He can't be my husband. She's going to bump into him right now. As I finally let out the heavy sigh I'd been holding back. Yep. Look at him. Look at that broad chest and that narrow waist. Game, what are you doing? What are you doing? But like, oh, look. Oh, his outfit. Oh, love it. Because, you know, he's not at work right now. And his hair is down. Okay, well, normally it's in a braid. But, like, it looks like it's wild whipping free. Whoops, I keep hitting the wrong button. My heart jumped, seeing him suddenly appear in front of me. What did I just say? Come on. I mean, we're in his route, so you know he's going to show up, but his attire... Good day. Are you off work by any chance? Yep. There's his ponytail. Not a braid this time, his ponytail. Oh my god, he's got so much hair he can wrap a bun around that fucking ponytail. Good lord. That's right. Although in the CG, his ponytail was up higher. I'm just saying. He looks nervous. He looked terribly confused, refusing to look me directly in the eye. Yeah, because he was like probably wandering, thinking about you like, and then all of a sudden you're both like, oh, hi, awkward. Is there a problem? Huh? No. He turned his head away and sighed with annoyance. There's his pretty pose. Look at his glorious hair. His hair is... Okay. I kind of want to see him from far away. I want to, like, back it up and see full body, because it's like... If your hair, when it's up like this, goes down to your ankles, like, that shit's dragging on the ground behind you if it's not up. Braided or ponytailed. I'm just saying, like, shit, man. You were growing that hair out your whole life. Did I do something wrong? Was I becoming more I was becoming more anxious when I saw your dance last night. Oh, now she's embarrassed. Look at him blushing. It's so cute. Oh my god. He blushes all the time, though. Like, he's like 90% blush. Since you had asked for my help, I expected that you would be inexperienced, but it was brilliant. Oh my god, we're in love now. I was surprised by the emotion that emerged inside me. Compliments were always nice to receive, but hearing praise from him made me so overjoyed that I felt I could dance right there and then. Honestly, I'm sorry to say I was only able to watch from a distance. I'm not very good with crowds. And he still came to see me dance? If you can dance like that, there's nothing I can teach you. That's not true! I love the fact that he's like, I mean, I can't teach you anything, you're so good. And she's like, no, but I mean, like, we could just practice together, maybe you could learn ballroom dancing or some shit. But, like, it's the fact that he even went to see her dance, because he's like, oh, I figured it'd be an experience when you asked me to teach you, and I wanted to, and then I watched it, like, but you were thinking about it, though. You were thinking about, like, how we were like, I want to be like his apprentice, and he was like, psh, well, you know, I'm considering it. You were considering it! Because you like me. God, this is so good. The slow burn is good. The slow, awkward burn. This is an awkward burn, but I love it. As I moved closer to him, he retreated from me somewhat. Yeah, because he doesn't know how to deal with people. You're like, hi, get close to him. He's like, huh, girl. I saw your dance, which is why I want to do better. Maybe do better isn't the right way to say it. It's not as though I wasn't trying to do my best before. But after understanding how things work on this island, little by little, I started to think of all the things I could do, all the ways I could make things better. I see. Now he's smiling. Look at him beaming. So I wanted to thank you for reminding me of that. I haven't done anything deserving of thanks. You danced wonderfully the other day. It's simply my role, that's all.
Which is likely why he is hesitant to reveal to others that he is a Tamagome dancer.
The expression on his face seemed to be disparaging of his own accomplishments. I can understand now what Akaza and Yosuga were saying about him. Like, he's got this responsibility that he's burdened with glorious purpose, but he just doesn't quite want it. Loki'll take it. But what you're doing is something only you can do. Riku held his breath. I said all those things before when I didn't know you were the dancer, but everything I said was the truth. It was so beautiful that I wanted to keep watching, and I was so glad to know there was another dancer on this island. As a dancer, I respect you from the bottom of my heart. Oh my god, I think he's gonna die now. So please don't dismiss what you do. Look at his awkward face. Again, he has like 90% blush, but it gets me every time. Every 4 seconds when it pops up, it's like, he's so lucky. Especially when I love the fact that they gave him that sprite where he's awkwardly got his hand in front of his face, like, oh god, like his kind of shy, awkward face. And then there's like the blushing awkward. Every face of his is fucking awkward. Half of his faces are awkward. Riku went completely silent. It was so quiet I could hear a carriage run by. Do you have any plans for today? No? Whatever you want. Then, do you want to learn the Tamagome dance? Oh, you do love me. I was about to leap for joy. I internally congratulated myself on my self-restraint. Really? Are you sure? You said the other day that you wanted me to teach you. Yes, I did. But are you sure? Really sure? It's fine, but it would be difficult to find a private place, somewhere as secluded as possible. Secluded? I know just the place. No one ever goes there. Follow me, except for 2 lovers trying to hide, but... And we go and we find them in the bushes and we're like, oh, never mind. Yeah, this cool. This works too. I thought she was going to bring him to the waterfall, and I was like, girl, that's where, like, illicit relationships go. You can't. Where are we? It's my secret hideout. Hideout? Wait. You aren't harboring any fugitives here, are you? Of course not. I'm the only one who ever comes here. And you're my first guest ever. Come in. I'm the first? Oh my god, he's like, what? The first guest in my house. Okay. I'm just telling you, you get a new house, you get a new apartment, whatever, and you're like, you're my first guest. You're the first person I've tried making this recipe for. No one in the world ever goes, oh my, first person in your house, oh my god, I'm so nervous. They're like, oh cool, feels special, but he's gonna be so awkward about this. Sweetie, it's just a house. I mean, yes, there are certain things that it's like, oh, you feel special about, but you're not like a stuttering mess over it. He's gonna be a stuttering mess. Oh, I love it. I mean, already, I'm the first? These things, and did you find them all washed ashore? Yes, they're so interesting, aren't they? I see. So this is what your hideout is for. He carefully looked around the room. Doma owns this cottage, so it's not as though I'm using it without permission. It was empty before, but I've decorated it little by little. I can tell. This place has a feminine touch. Take a look. I opened the window and pointed to the ocean. You can see Tenyo Island from here. Isn't it a nice view? I mean, it's on a nice little hill, so... Riku frowned and bowed to me. About yesterday. I said things to you that were uncalled for. Huh? Oh. I'm sorry, but I wasn't trying to blame you for anything. I understand. I must admit, it is a nice view. You're like, you're not even looking out the window. He's like, I know. And she's like, silly. No clue. He sounded a little tense, but I could tell he wasn't lying or complimenting it for my sake. I gave it more thought last night. From now on, I will only believe in things I see and hear myself. I wish to make those judgments on my own. Riku? I may have noticed something that I shouldn't have. I wish to make those judgments on my own. I sensed a darkness in the tone of his voice and the look in his eyes. He made it sound like he didn't make any decisions by himself before. There was no way I could ask him the question that came to mind. I mean, he kind of didn't, though. We've kind of known, like, I mean, he's a robot marshmallow. But also, he's very stickler for the rules because that's the way this is the way it is. These are the rules. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, now we're breaking that status quo where he's like, maybe it's okay to think for myself and not follow all the rules. Like, he's just always been like, these are the rules. Okay. There are some people that are like, where you're like, these are the rules. And they're like, all right, we follow the rules. And then there's other people who are like, I mean, I'm going to mostly follow the rules, but like, there's wiggle room, right? Most people are in the wiggle room. Like, some wiggle room. And then there are people who are like, fuck the rules, light them on fire and break every one of them on purpose. Riku is like, you gave me the rules. I will do the rules. The speed limit says 35. I am only going 35. I will not go 36. And the rest of us are like, 40's fine, right? Yeah, 40's fine. Like, and then you have some people who are like, fuck it, 92! And like, you know, you gotta have all the, you know, you gotta have those people, because who else would you be pissed at when you're in a 35-mile-an-hour zone and they're literally doing 35 and you're like, oh my god, seriously, you could do like 40, asshole? You gotta have those Rikus, otherwise everything would be pleasant. You gotta have the Rikus because, you know, they gotta make up for the assholes who were doing 95 and, like, just ran over your kid in a school zone because they just didn't want to follow his... You know what I mean? Because the Rikus get in front of them, you know. So we've got to deal with the stress of being behind that person who's going the absolute fucking speed limit, but in the fast lane on the highway. Why are you in the fast lane? There's nobody in the other lane. Why the fuck are you in the fast lane? Oh, I'm just telling you. This is the passing lane. Get out of the road! Like, oh god, it annoys me so much. If you're not actually passing vehicles, don't ride in the fast lane. That's not what it's for. There are signs. Read them. Those aren't the Rikus. Those are the people who are like, fuck the rules. But they're being assholes about it. Anyway. I've heard a lot of rumors about myself, but most of them are far from the truth. I won't blame anyone for it, but I want you to know who I really am. Olympia. That wasn't my real name. I wanted to say that to him, but I couldn't. I told him that I want him to know the real me, but I was so conscious about everything I said to him now that it was embarrassing. What am I expecting from him? I didn't know whether my heart was hot or cold. I tried to change the subject to keep my mind off those thoughts. I know it's strange for me to ask now, but are you sure you can teach me that dance? I was under the impression that the dance was only for the people of the blue. It's not a problem to teach you its form. The dance is an offering of thanks to Lord Hiroko and to send off the dead in peace. That reminds me, my governess... I wonder if I can use the dance to honor someone who passed away a while ago. Was the person close to you? She was the governess who took care of me. The people of the Ko and Otsu, along with those in Yomi, aren't given proper funerals. Would you mind if I danced for them to ease their souls? If your feelings are sincere, I'm sure it will be fine. Really? As a dancer himself, his words brought me strength. Come to think of it, may I ask how you mourned on Tenyo Island? We buried those who passed away. Bury? You didn't send them off? He's like, the fuck kind of heathenish shit is that? You're not gonna like it when you break out into the real world, buddy. Like, I don't think we're gonna break out into the real world out of this Truman Show bubble that we live in this route. It'll be later, but I'm just saying, someday, when this fucking bubble comes crashing down on you, you are just not going to be able to handle the fact that there are just plots of land with dead people in it. Yeah. Uh-huh. Because, you know, but it's always the best plots. Look at that beautiful scenic view for the dead people. I mean, seriously? We'd have a lot more land if we just cremated people. And you scattered their ashes or something instead of, like, burying bodies. Just saying. Burying them is our way of sending them off. There's a place on the island called Ikimizu Spring. We'd pour water from there onto those who had passed away. We didn't transform them into show. I see. Then we placed flowers on their graves and prayed for their souls. And the islands are so close to each other, yet their customs are so different. I was taught that the souls would then return to be reborn as women on the island. Tenyo Island is very interesting, like the story of the lunar fairy. No, that was impolite of me to say. I'm sorry. Don't worry, the customs of this island are strange and interesting to me too. Interesting. It really is interesting to learn something that you didn't know before. Oh my god, now we're bonding over nerd learning. I love it. I mean, they're not wrong. Like, somebody's like, wow, cool! And, like, if somebody is, like, passionate about something and you know nothing about it, it's fun to, like, listen to them get excited about it, you know? But it's just so funny because, like, there's a little version of that that's, like, nerding out. Like, you're absolutely nerding out when you're like, okay, oh my god. So, anyway, right? Like, let me tell you all about the stuff that I love. People are like, you're weird, but I love it. You know? But you're nerding out. And they're nerding out about nerding out, which is just adorable. I have continued to read books after graduating from university, but speaking with others seems to offer greater knowledge. His words warmed my heart. I could feel a kind of trust in him taking root inside of me. All this serious talk must be boring, so why don't we get started? Sure. I wouldn't mind talking a bit longer. This is him being like, girl, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, socially awkward pandas. Like, you know, wormed. He's got his moment. But anyway, I'm going to stop here. So we'll start learning our dance and spending more time with our husbando here in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.